Kia ora, and welcome to another Future Skills Academy webinar. My name is Rob McClay and I'll be your host today. We'll be joined by Future Skills lecturer Marie Laycock, who will be talking about our dementia care, and the types of support needed to help your loved ones and the different types of dementia. Surprisingly, there are over 400. We will also discuss our healthcare programs that we have on offer. So if you're interested in having a career in the healthcare sector, we'll get into that a little bit later. Marie is the Head of Department for Health at Future Skills Academy. Marie holds a postgraduate diploma in health sciences and professional health education and qualifications in adult teaching. She also has worked as a healthcare lecturer. She has been an academic manager, a quality leader, and a quality manager. She trained as a registered nurse at Auckland Hospital. Also joining us today is student advisor Jean Koo. She'll be on hand during the webinar to answer any questions you might have about the enrolment process. Jean comes from a strong public relations, corporate communications and marketing background, and she holds an honours degree in social science from the National University of Singapore. Feel free to type in any questions you have for Marie in the chat box at any time throughout the webinar, and we'll endeavour to answer these at the end. So what is Future Skills Academy? Well, we've been operating since 2001. We're a leading Category 1 trading provider with campuses in Manukau and Rural Oak. We also have an international campus in partnership with Otago Polytechnic and Auckland CBD, with programs ranging from diplomas to masters. Our program offerings include health, IT, construction, and early childhood. So welcome Marie and Jean, thanks for joining myself and viewers today. I'm really looking forward to hearing all about dementia care and the programs that Future Skills has to offer around this area. So Marie, please tell us a bit more about yourself.
Okay, thanks, Rob. I think you've pretty much covered most of it in your blurb. I trained as a registered nurse in the 1980s and have since then been doing various roles, including lecturing and management, working with quality, developing programs. I've had quite a lot to do with people with dementia, both in the workplace and also with my own experience with my father-in-law who developed dementia. And it's a very much a misunderstood area, I think, of healthcare. So we sort of, within our programs, we're trying to help everybody to understand a bit more about it and how to manage it, how to deal with it. So giving you tools so that you will feel more empowered when working with somebody or helping with your loved ones who may have dementia.
Thanks, Marie. And Jean, tell us a bit more about yourself, please.
Kia ora, everyone. My name is Jean. I am the student recruitment advisor, one of the few here at Future Skills Academy. I have had the pleasure of recruiting students for the health program since I joined about 2 years ago. And yes, we have had several intakes of really amazing people who have come to join us in our program here, and we have successfully seen them through their program into really good healthcare workers in the community. So really looking forward to speaking to each one of you who are on our webinar this afternoon, and to answer any of your questions later on.
Thanks, Jean. And so I believe, Marie, you've got a presentation for us around dementia care. Would you like to share your screen, please?
Sure, thanks. I shall do that.
And just the viewers, we practiced this beforehand, so we're getting pretty good at this.
We're getting there, yes. Okay, so
Perfect.
okay, so we'll just start from the slideshow. Okay, so you can see the screen there?
Yes,
yep,
we
that's
can.
very good. Thanks, Marie.
Okay, so dementia care. I mean, most of us know somebody who has dementia. It's a very, very common disease now that they reckon that there's going to be a lot more people who develop dementia over the next few years as our population ages. Hang on, we'll go to the next one. Oops, So can you see that?
Not the next one, no.
Not the next one yet. Okay,
No,
hang on. I'll
still on the
just
first slide there.
still on the first one. All right.
There we go. Something.
There we go.
Perfect. Perfect.
So there are different types of dementia. And as you said, Rob, there's actually over 400 different types of dementia. And they all have slightly different symptoms, but the overarching umbrella of dementia includes anybody who has got cognitive decline, and which is thinking processes, understanding things. The most common types of dementia that we see, and the one that everybody knows, is Alzheimer's. So Alzheimer's is more like a speeding up of the natural decline of your thinking processes. And it's not normal aging. That normal aging is a lot slower. We used to call it senile or senility. But Alzheimer's is where that is actually speeded up quite a lot. And so the person may not be that old, but they suddenly start to deteriorate with their thinking processes. They forget things. They forget basic things, and by the end, end stage Alzheimer's, they forget how to dress themselves, and some at the very end, they forget how to eat. So that's never going to be a good ending. There is no treatment for it at this stage, but there are medications that can slow the process. The next one that's very common is frontotemporal dementia, or PICS dementia, as it's also known. And this affects younger people, quite young people, maybe in their 40s. And it's a different type of dementia, but it's also quite difficult for the family to deal with because the person is so young, and then they just have they also become quite behaviorally challenging, so they become quite angry sometimes. And the third most common type is vascular dementia. And this one is where your blood vessels maybe are a bit narrowed, you've had heart attacks or some issue with your blood supply to your brain. And this means that you have the symptoms of Alzheimer's, but there's no actual issues with your brain. It's more the blood supply to your brain. So these people have issues where they still have they forget, what they're doing or what they need to do, but they have moments of lucidity where they can remember that they've forgotten, and they find it's very frustrating for them. So we'll just move on to the next one. So I think one of the most difficult parts of dementia is how you communicate with them. You need to speak very slowly and calmly because their brain has got so many things happening there at the time. And sort of it's like, they've got music on loud inside their head and lots of colors, and they find it difficult to concentrate. You need to keep your sentences very simple and just have one idea at a time. So don't give somebody who's exhibiting symptoms of dementia, don't give them lots of choices because they'll just become overwhelmed. You just basically need to guide them through one thing at a time. Don't ask them saying, do you remember or have you forgotten? Because they will have, and they find that very frustrating. So you're kind of reinforcing that they've got a problem or an issue. You can use other words to ask the same kinds of questions, but there's no point asking them if they'll remember because they will not. They'll all have stories from their youth that they like to tell you, and it might be from very young age, or they might be living in their 20s in their head, and they'll often have these stories on a repeat cycle. So it might be like a couple of minutes, and then they'll start again, and they'll just keep telling the story over and over again. And listen to the story. You can distract them, but don't try and dispute the story, I suppose. It's their version of the truth. So when you talk to them, don't try and change what they're thinking. You just need to try and maybe divert them into another way of, something else where you want them to think about. Also with dementia, they do lose touch with their surroundings and who they're talking to. Even close families, like the mother might forget who their daughter is, or the husband might forget who his wife is. So keep orientating them to names and saying, you know, you're the wife, or you're the husband, or the son, or the daughter, and your name is this. And so, and, you know, today is Tuesday, and, you know, it's not though, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday. But those sorts of things, you know, if you just sort of gently orientate them back to what's actually happening in the here and now, those are the sorts of things that are helpful to them. As far as our programs of study at Future Skills, we've got 3 main programs here. And in the programs, we teach you how to learn more about people who cannot care for themselves and how to support them with our caring programs. You can support your whānau and your community when you have a better understanding of health and well-being, in particular dementia care, as I said. And there are also strong employment options, which I'm sure Jean can speak to a little bit later on. So our 3 main health and wellbeing programs are a very basic introduction into level 2, which introduces you to some legislation and sort of what tasks a caregiver might do. The level 3 one is looking more in depth into things like dementia and different disease processes, and gives you a better understanding of why you care for people, why you were doing it, and things to look out for changes that may indicate that they are deteriorating. And the advanced care and support at level 4 goes into a lot more depth of these things and looks at clinical tasks that you might be doing. So it could be covering things like looking after IVs, or taking blood pressures and temperatures, recording these and reporting to the registered nurse. So these are the ones, these are the main things I think that we cover in our programs. And I'm going to hand you back to the team.
Thanks, Marie. There's some very interesting stuff that you spoke about there. I find it very helpful, you know, especially if I do come across a situation like this, and I find that, you know, the limiting choices is quite a useful sort of thing to know. So thanks for sharing with that. Now, Jean, I understand that you've got some information around possibly their enrolment process and in areas like that. Would you like to expand on what Marie's been talking about?
Yes, sure. So I'm going to start off with telling you why I think you should enroll. The fact that you have joined this webinar, I take it that you obviously are interested in a healthcare job, and you'd be glad to know first off that the healthcare industry is very short on staff. You would have heard that in the media. You would have heard that spoken at, you know, your amongst friends, relatives, etc. So enrolling in one of these programs will be your ticket into a job that's very highly in demand at the moment. And your training in New Zealand will actually also be very useful elsewhere in the world, just in case you're thinking of moving across the ditch to Aussie.
No,
so
no one's going to do that.
So yeah, so I understand from Marie that yes, our graduates are very highly in demand around the world, so that's good. Also, the job of a healthcare assistant or a support worker is a rewarding career. I'm not going to lie that it is hard work, but again, I say because you are here, that you probably do have a passion for doing healthcare work, and many of our graduates have shared with us how fulfilling the job is. So, you know, you
I would
will
say
be
you'd probably have a passion for people. Is that right, Jean?
Yes,
You
absolutely.
love
Yes.
people. Yeah.
Correct. You love people. You love caring for people, and in particular, our older generation that really need a lot of care. And some of our level 3 students actually go on to community support work as well, which is helping the disabled. So it need not necessarily just be caring for the elderly, if that's not entirely your calling. But you know, you could be caring for disabled people, from the young ones to teens to old people as well.
I do have a question for you, Jean.
Sure.
do you have to be working in the industry to do this program, or can you be new to the industry? Tell us more about that.
Sure. So we've got something for everyone. If amongst you, there are people who have absolutely no experience in healthcare at all, you can start off with our level 2 program. As Marie said, you can then progress on to level 3 and level 4. Most healthcare organizations will take students who have just recently graduated with a level 2 certificate, although they do prefer you to have level 3 quite quickly after that. So we are doing a package where if you do start off with our level 2 program, we will offer the level 3 program to you to do for free after you've successfully completed your level 2.
Well, that's a huge savings there, I see.
Yes, because the cost the cost is $3,600 for the level 3 program.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yes. So with the level 4 program, you do need to be employed in the sector. The level 4 program is meant to be for students who are already working in the sector and wanting to get qualified at a higher level. We are also, the training is also meant to be for someone who has had several years of experience and wanting to take on a team leader, a supervisory role. And so that's why we require you to be already working in the sector. Right. So back to the level 2 and the level 3, we are offering these programs as a part-time program. So you will be able to still have a job on the side, whether it is related to healthcare or not. We welcome you. So for level 2, like I said, you don't need any work experience whatsoever, nor healthcare experience. So it's a short 22-week program, which you can do on a weekday, 2 full days of studies, and you'll be done in just over 6 months. When we go on to level 3, the criteria is for you to have a level 2 certificate, or if you have worked in the industry for 1 year at least. We are aware that the industry has employed because of the lack of manpower, the industry has started employing staff who have no training whatsoever. So if you've already got a job and a job in the healthcare industry and would like to be trained, you can come in at level 3. All right. And at level 4, as I mentioned, you do need to be working in the sector for a minimum of 2 years and preferably with a level 3 qualification. What's next?
I've got a question for you.
Sure.
So what sort of support do you offer students while they're studying?
Right. Okay. So we have a very strong student success team on campus. We do know that life gets in the way sometimes, and we have the lecturers, of course, will be your first port of call. We have very supportive lecturers who will go out of their way to help our students. We do attract a adult working population, not so much school leavers. So we understand when people have issues with family, with kids, with elderly parents, etc. And work obviously is a huge part of most of our students' life as well. So the lecturers will do everything to help you to succeed. Otherwise, we do have our student success team who will be able to walk and journey with you, whether it's an IT issue, whether it's a personal issue, or whether it's a learning issue.
Great, thanks, Jane. Can you expand on that, Marie? What support do you offer academically for your students?
So often when people come into a healthcare program, they'll come in as a person who has had some experience in life, and it may have been a long time since you studied. So we provide support for you both as pastoral care. So if you've got any issues you need someone to talk to about, or you need to be directed to somewhere to help with any issues that you're having at the moment while you're studying. And we also supply academic support with our lovely student success team. And so if you get to an assessment and you're really not a writing kind of person, you really haven't had to do that sort of thing for a long time, and you're just a bit rusty, then we can help you with getting started on how to write that assessment, how to complete the answers. And also we have our programs, they're on a Moodle platform. And if you're not particularly good at IT, you might be great at emails and TikTok, but maybe not on Moodle. So we also have support there as well to help you get online, to engage with your lecturer and to engage with your classmates. Most of our classes for the level 2 and 3, they are all on site. So you don't need to worry so much about trying to join on Teams or Zoom. You can just come to the campus. The level 4 program has a bit of a mix. So sometimes you'll be on Teams and sometimes you'll be on campus. But we do have lots of support, and we recommend that if you, even when you start to find that you might be struggling a little bit, to reach out. We're all really friendly, here to help, here to support.
Great, thanks, Marie. Jean, so how would I enroll? Do I jump on the website and go somewhere?
Yes,
What do you
yes, you
recommend?
do.
So go down to the bottom
Right.
here.
So yes, before I touch on the enrollment, I probably everybody's probably thinking about fees. They see that big amount there, 3,774 and 6,620. It is all right. So the good news, obvious, is that Future Skills is offering scholarships at the moment, and they are 100% scholarships at that. So it is on a first come, first serve basis. We're just starting to recruit for our very large July intake. So if you are keen on doing our level 3 and our level 4 program, I suggest that you jump on real quick to fill up the application, which I will talk about in a short while. And also to give yourself a chance to be selected for these scholarships. So there are forms available that we will get you to complete, and we will assess your eligibility for the scholarships. Students, some students, of course, are eligible for the government fees-free funding. So that will be our first port of call. So either way, you probably will get to do your course for free. All right. So to the enrollment now. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you see a tick with an apply below. That's where you go. Jump onto our website, click on that button. Yes, good. All right. And you see the word sign up there. Click on that. Please don't go straight into putting a new. Can we just pop back? Because
Sorry, I'm getting a bit excited here. I'm going to apply.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people put in their email addresses and password and then click login and go, oh, I can't get in. All right, because you haven't signed up. So remember, the first thing you do is go to that. Yes, go do that first. Sign up. Now you can click on that. Rob, thank you. All right, put in your first name, your last name, your email address.
I won't put in my special details, but I can.
And a password of your choice. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No,
if you got Google and Facebook, you can sign up through those platforms too, I believe.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people get stuck after doing that. So we tell people to start a fresh application.
And there'll be a phone number here somewhere. We need to add that too there. But there'll be a phone number under contact us. Oh, there it is up top there.
Oh, there it is.
0800 550 410. So if you do get stuck, just give the team a call. They will definitely help you through the process.
That's right. So nice and simple. Just remember that password that you put in there, because you will need it again in a couple of minutes. Once you've done that, click register, and then another screen will prompt you to put in your email address and your password again. And once you do that, you're in the application form and away you go. So it's a matter of just putting in all your personal information and sending us your documents. And you will likely get a call from me quite quickly.
But there's also the opportunity too, if you didn't want to do the application in full, you just wanted to see if it's a program for you, you can quite easily just give the phone number a call and have a chat with Jean and the team, and they can see if it is the right program for you. So you don't have to go through that first. But if you know it's for you, go ahead and do the application and jump onto that scholarship as quick as you can. because they are limited,
Sorry,
I
Rob,
hear.
could I just mention something else?
Yeah, sure.
So right next to that apply button is a book a call button.
Cool.
That's the other thing
Booking a
you can
call.
do. Yes. So if
Oh,
you
yeah.
would like to sort of have a chat with me at a particular time, date and time, just book an appointment with me, and it's an online appointment.
Yep.
And we can have a call, a video call.
I'm going to book a time right now. Is that right, Jane?
Yeah, sure.
All day, every day. That's very useful. Very useful.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Anything else you'd like to share with us today, Jean?
I think that's about all that
Yeah.
I would like to say. Does anybody have any questions? Are we into question time yet, Rob? Sorry, have
We do. I'm just pretty sure I've opened up the question and answers box. Yeah, so you'll have an option there to ask some questions. But if you don't have any questions now and you do have them later on, feel free just to reply back to, you'll see my email somewhere where you can just send me an email with a question and I'll forward it on to the team as well. So if you don't have anything right now, that's fine. Sometimes you go, oh, I've got a question, and when everything's finished, so that's no problem whatsoever there. Okay, Marie, do you want to wrap it up with anything that you've missed we'd like to talk about?
I think we've pretty much covered it all there, Rob. You know, we're here to sort of provide people with education that's relevant to the current world state. So we're up to date with our programs, with what's happening in the industry. We have work placement as part of all of our certificates, our programs. So you will be placed into a volunteer placement where you will experience it for yourself as a student with a buddy, not necessarily dropped into it at the deep end, but be able to see if this is really what you want. And I think most people love it when they get out into the actual real world. You can only do so much with knowledge, which is a great thing. But then all of our programs are vocational, so we really want you to experience it as well. And that's what all of these programs provide you, the chance to experience it for yourself.
Perfect.
Marie,
Thanks.
I have a question regarding placement. Is that do students get paid during the time when they do their work placement?
So usually we have what we call as a volunteer placement. So we have a list of a large number of health and wellbeing places around Auckland where we have memorandums of understanding where we can place students into for their practicum part of their program. If you are working already in a healthcare role that's relevant to your program, then we can actually get you to do your practicum through your work. So you will be paid in that respect. But generally, no. Most of our placements are volunteer placements.
Thanks, Marie.
Thanks, Jane. Great question. Right, we're coming to the end now. It's been 30 minutes. I think we've got everything that we needed to talk about across the line. So, and once again, if you do have any further questions, just email me direct and I can pass them on to the team. So I'd like to thank Marie. Thank you so much for coming on board and talking to us about dementia care. I learned a little bit there. And also, Jean, thank you for talking to us about the enrolment process. So I do appreciate you coming on board, and thank you to the people who are watching today, and those who haven't. Hopefully you'll get this video very, very soon. So once again, thank you very much, and see you in the next one. Cool. Thanks, team.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.